Before I begin this video, Semden, if you're watching this, all my aggression and anger is done purely for entertainment purposes. If for whatever reason you don't like how angry I am in this video and prefer that I be more straightforward with my criticism, feel free to skip to my final thoughts. Also, when I recorded most of this video, I mispronounced Semden as Samden. I fixed most of these errors, with some exceptions because some would be too difficult to re-record. So if you're wondering why I occasionally refer to him as Samden instead of Semden, that's why.
Well, what happened?
This should explain everything.
A farewell to arms. I fell in love with a nurse during World War I?
No, just the title. There's no way you've read that.
Wait, before the intro starts, can someone adjust the light really quickly? Now that I don't look like a Ritz cheese cracker anymore, cue the intro. Hello everyone, Pac Mario Moy Music here, and today I am doing another commentary. To explain the context, Baby No Money is... wait, that's his name? You know what, I'll call him by his actual first name, Alex, because that is a really stupid name. Anyways, Alex is a white Canadian rapper, best known for his songs La 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 and Edamame. On his social media, Alex advertises his music through cosplaying characters that he is a fan of. This is where we meet the person who we are covering today, Semden, a TikTok creator who has recently decided to expand to long-form content on YouTube. On April 13th, 2026, Semden made a video accusing Alex of LARPing. In other words, pretending to be a fan of the characters that he is cosplaying as. Also, keep the definition of the word niche in mind for this video, as Semden tries to make the argument that the franchises that Alex is cosplaying as are, in other words, unpopular and unknown. Now before the video begins, Semden has expressed regret for how he researched the popularity of the franchises and has unlisted the video. While I will be focusing on that primarily, there are still other problems that I feel like are noteworthy to point out. Also, other people besides Semden can learn from the mistakes that Semden made in this video. One last thing, most of my information will be based on before Semden made this video, so if something has aged well or poorly, that's why. With that all being said, let's...
Number 13. LARPer defends another LARPer.
Is that me doing a bad impression of the Burger King foot lettuce guy with the Civil Protection Cop voice filter over it?
So there's this idiot YouTuber named Pac Mario Moy Music Productions, ignoring his name, which is clearly made by someone who is 10 years old.
That's how old I was when I made the channel, yes?
Before I was so rudely interrupted by this stupid YouTuber, he is LARPing wearing fedoras, despite the very poorly drawn fedora that looks more like a top hat on the also poorly drawn avatar. He hasn't worn a fedora in over 6 years.
My head has grown too big for all my old fedoras, and I don't have enough money to afford one. If I did, I would wear one right now.
Oh.
Get out of my house! Can I begin the video now? Before I have to address something else? Or before a random character shows up? Jeez. With all that being said, let's begin the commentary.
I recently stumbled across this post that appeared in my TikTok feed that was a Baby No Money post that Baby No Money went out of his way to post on his own, titled, Your month, your Baby No Money cosplay. Now you might be asking yourself, why is this such a big deal? This seems like the biggest non-issue on earth. Baby No Money doing a cosplay for every single month of the year? How could you possibly find that even the slightest bit problematic? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I actually don't find it problematic at all. I just have a burning question on my mind. That question being, is it even possible for Baby No Money to be a fan of every single fan base that he has cosplayed and pretended to be in?
Alright. To counter this argument, Semden, you have made me do something that I haven't done in a long time. I didn't have to, but you made me. Hello everyone, Pack Mario More Music here, in live action form, for the first time in over 6 years. How's your day going? How's life going? How are the kids? If you have kids. How's the spouse? If you have a spouse. This is getting awkward now. I'll stop. Anyways, Samden, you're claiming that it is unreasonable for Alex to be a part of so many fandoms. While you don't give a specific number, I'll assume that 12 is your limit. Well, does this serve as a counter-argument? In my room alone, I have merchandise for many franchises that I love. For time's sake, I'll be quick. And don't worry, the sodas don't count. Mario. I grew up playing a lot of Mario games on the Wii, DS, 3DS, Wii U, Switch, and now that I am an adult, Switch 2. I'm especially fond of Luigi's Mansion with all the Luigi's Mansion merchandise I have. Also, I named my channel after Mario. Mario Moi Music. I'll save the first part for later. Power Rangers, Regular Show, Ed, Edd n Eddy. These are my favorite shows to watch as a kid, and I sometimes watch them as an adult. Minecraft. I've played Minecraft since I was 11, thanks to the Minecraft YouTubers Stampy Longhead and DanZDM. I played it on my phone, tablet, laptop, and the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2. Halloween. The first film was one of the first horror movies I ever watched, and I loved it. I haven't seen every movie, but I'm still a big enough fan of the franchise to wear a Michael Myers costume every Halloween. Portal. This is one of the first PC games that I played that wasn't on the Cartoon Network website, and I played a lot of PC games since, but I'll save that for later. Wallace and Gromit. I grew up on Wallace and Gromit. One of my favorite films of all time is Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Dodgers. I grew up watching the Dodgers, thanks to my family, and especially my dad. I associate the Dodgers with good family memories, such as watching games at the park and watching them win the World Series in 2020, 2024, and 2025. Gosh, we're so spoiled. Pac-Man.
And here is Pack Mario More Music's fake ass, LARPing being a Pac-Man fan.
Oh my goodness, not you again.
This stupid idiot claims to be a big Pac-Man fan when all his lazy ass has played is the original arcade game. Even then, he hasn't gone past level 3.
Sure, I may have limited experience with the Pac-Man franchise, but the characters still left a big enough impact on me to the point where not only did I name my channel after Pac-Man, but also my nickname.
You're still 3 short on the 12 fandoms that Alex is LARPing.
Look behind you.
Oh no.
There's your 12. Anyways, Spider-Man. I grew up watching the first Raimi film a lot at my grandma's house on VHS. I have also seen every Spider-Man film, excluding Madam Web. Michael Jackson. I grew up listening to a lot of Michael Jackson. I listened to his Greatest Hits CD to fall asleep at night. I also own a lot of Michael Jackson merchandise. Half-Life. Do I even have to explain? 3 of my commentaries are about Half-Life. The font I primarily used for the last 3 years is from Half-Life. You, the character I created, are a civil protection cop from Half-Life 2. Get out of my house!
Okay, fine.
The nerve of some people. Anyways. Yes, Samden. People can like and be a fan of total different franchises. This isn't even including all the stuff that I'm a fan of that I only have shirts of or simply no merch at all. because of a lack of merch, and also because that shit is expensive. I'm pretty sure I can go around finding a lot of people who can name 12 things that they are a massive fan of, but I'd be here all day.
Let's take a look at this Your Month, Your Baby No cosplay post, shall we? For the month of January, our Baby No Money cosplay happens to be Patrick. Patrick from SpongeBob. Now listen, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people I know who grew up on SpongeBob, who grew up watching and loving SpongeBob. And it seems like Baby No Money is like in the perfect age range to also have grown up on SpongeBob, watching SpongeBob. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here and say that he actually watched SpongeBob and that he's not just LARPing being a SpongeBob fan.
Pay attention to this for the rest of the video, because Semden will either use his own or his friends' experiences to prove whether or not Alex is a fan of the franchises that he is cosplaying. And this frame of evidence is wrong. For the example of SpongeBob, what if Alex didn't have cable growing up, and neither did his friends and family, so he couldn't watch any SpongeBob? He was born in 1995, and streaming services like Netflix and Hulu wouldn't be available until he was at least 12 years old, and SpongeBob wouldn't be on either streaming services until he was around the age of 14 to 17. He could have lost interest in watching SpongeBob at that age. Or what if his parents simply didn't allow him to watch SpongeBob and told his friends and family as well not to watch SpongeBob, thus making him not able to watch SpongeBob?
But I honestly cannot say the same for every other fan base that Baby No Money has essentially cosplayed and pretended to be a fan of.
And your example is him cosplaying as Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil, a franchise that has sold over 201 units in cumulative sales worldwide. Also, Alex is cosplaying as the character Leon Kennedy, one of the main characters from the franchise, appearing in 4 of the 9 mainline games.
Our next Baby No Money cosplay for the month of February is Mad Moxie from Borderlands. Now, I'm not too familiar with Borderlands or Mad Moxie at all. I actually had to look up who Mad Moxie was and what video game or piece of media Mad Moxie was from in order for me to do this segment in this video.
As this video progresses, I don't question the research that Semden put into this video, but I do question the quality.
Because honestly, a lot of these characters that are supposed to be in these pieces of media that Baby No Money is LARPing, I have no idea who they are or what piece of media they're from.
While Semden addresses this later, I'm going to address this right now because I don't want this video to get too repetitive. But the Hello Kitty franchise is valued at $4 billion per year, and the character that Alex cosplayed as, Cinnamon Roll, has consistently ranked in the top 2 or higher since 2016 in character polls.
So I actually had to do my fair share of research to find out where all of these characters are from and what pieces of media they're from. And Borderlands is like a very niche, obscure game.
Ah, yes. Borderlands. A very niche franchise that is one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time, with an overall net revenue of over $1 billion. It was also popular enough to get a film adaptation. Granted, it didn't do well at the box office, but it was still popular enough to get adapted into a film. Also, the character Mad Moxie, whom Alex is cosplaying as, has appeared in every Borderlands game, along with popular games like Fortnite as a character skin. Speaking of Fortnite,
I remember it was a game that was made by Epic Games a while ago.
Before we get into the Fortnite stuff, Borderlands wasn't developed by Epic Games. It was developed by Gearbox Software. I should be more upset, but considering the stuff I previously covered by game journalists, I'm not too shocked. Oddly enough, they're both related to Gearbox.
And the only thing that I really know about Borderlands is the fact that they did like a collab with Fortnite and like Season X or some shit like that. I just remember playing Fortnite and there was like a part of the Fortnite map that had like a Borderlands section in it or some shit. So honestly, I highly doubt that Baby No Money is actually like a true diehard genuine fan of Borderlands, so much so to the point where he wants to cosplay one of the main characters in the video game, Mad Moxie.
Alright, if we assume that, like you, Semden, Alex didn't know of the Borderlands franchise until he played the Borderlands-inspired parts in Fortnite, it could have been possible for Alex to wonder, oh wow, this part of the map looks interesting. I wonder what Borderlands is about. After all, Season X was released in 2019, and Alex first cosplayed as Mad Moxie on September 15th, 2025. It is entirely possible that Alex could have played one of the Borderlands games in between those 6 years. Or he could have played Borderlands before that. After all, the first game came out in 2009. He could have played the first game or any of the following games and became a fan. Also, going back to the idea that Borderlands is niche, around the same time as the Borderlands collaboration, Fortnite collaborated with Netflix's Stranger Things, John Wick, and DC Comics' Batman. All these very well-known franchises, except for Batman, were used to advertise massive events for these franchises, like Stranger Things Season 3, John Wick 3, and the new Borderlands game. All three made a lot of money upon release, or at the very least, received a lot of attention. Borderlands was clearly just as profitable as Stranger Things and John Wick, along with attention from Fortnite, a game that is very much tied to pop culture. I think it's fair to say that Borderlands isn't niche.
Our next Baby No Money cosplay in the month of March is Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus. Now, I've been on TikTok for quite some time now, and in that time that I've been on TikTok, there have been a lot of Amazing Digital Circus fans who have stumbled across my content and interacted with my content. And a lot of these Amazing Digital Circus fans have absolutely no problem whatsoever admitting that they're a fan of the Amazing Digital Circus. But yet again, the Amazing Digital Circus is like an obscure piece of media that not a lot of people are going to learn.
Yes. The Amazing Digital Circus. A very niche show. It's so niche that the first episode, by November 2024, had 350 million views. When a random Netflix executive somehow put it on Netflix, it ranked at only number 4 on its top 10 most popular shows. A very low number. It's so niche that the show's finale is being premiered on a small amount of around 2,221 theaters across the United States. Nah! Given the number of views The Amazing Digital Circus has, I think it's reasonable for Alex to have seen an episode or two and become a massive fan of the show afterwards. I think what makes this statement even more confusing is that you say that you've seen your fair share of The Amazing Digital Circus fans in your TikTok comments, so it's clearly popular enough for people to not be embarrassed about openly being a fan of the show. Yet, for some reason, you still call the show niche.
But Baby No Money might be the first person to LARP Amazing Digital Circus, because literally nobody LARPs this shit. So why LARP, bro? Actually, I know why. For attention. This man is getting so much attention on social media right now because of the cosplays and the LARPs that he is doing.
I mean, the attention Alex is getting in your examples seems to be making fun of him. Unless Alex is okay with negative attention, why would he cosplay if everyone knows that he's not an actual fan of any of the franchises that he cosplays as? But I'll elaborate more on this later.
Then for the month of April, we have Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Now, I don't really know if you could consider this a LARP, because let's be honest, there's no fan base for Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce at all.
Now, that statement is really dumb out of context. But when watching the video a little further, you can make a guess on what Samden is trying to say.
But I guess you could say he is LARPing like the NFL or like the NFL fan base here, because I guess you could consider this an NFL cosplay. I mean, shit, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are literally like the most popular couple in the entire NFL. Every single time you turn on a Chiefs game, you're going to hear fucking Chris Collinsworth
gives Patrick Mahomes unnecessary praise
as he throws a ball to Travis Kelce, and then the camera pans over to Taylor Swift doing fucking nothing in her multi-million-dollar luxury suite that she was gifted at Arrowhead Stadium because of how much money she's bringing in for the Kansas City Chiefs organization.
Semden could have meant that there's no fandom for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's relationship. If that's the case, then Semden. my guy, my buddy. The two words and or do not mean the same thing. I'm willing to bet that this might have been a slip up during the recording process that made it to the final video. It happens. But still, even then, Semden and Cez are the most popular couple in the NFL. So, do they have a fandom or not? What, Semden? What? If he does mean that there are no fandoms for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's individuals, then how does Taylor Swift bring in that much money for the Chiefs to the point that she was gifted a multi-million-dollar suite to do nothing in? Which to me, she looks more like she's cheering on her at the time boyfriend, which isn't exactly doing nothing, but details. Did she come up with a great marketing campaign? Is she secretly money laundering for the Chiefs? Does she know something awful about the Chiefs that we don't? So to keep her quiet, she was given a suite by the Chiefs ownership? What, Semden? What?
This man, Baby No Money, is literally LARPing the fucking NFL, and he's literally LARPing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I didn't even think that was fucking possible, because nobody does NFL cosplays. Actually, I guess you could say a lot of people do NFL cosplays if you want to talk about all of those motherfuckers who wear NFL jerseys everywhere they go. That's pretty much an NFL cosplay.
Well, I'm wearing a Mario shirt right now. I wear Mario shirts often. I guess that means I cosplay a lot as Mario. Might as well do a Mario impression. It's a me, Mario. Seriously, Semden, there's a big difference between just wearing a shirt of your favorite player from your favorite team versus wearing a football helmet, cleats, tights, and shoulder pads. I know this is about the NFL, but I have seen people cosplay popular players in other sports. There's a clear difference between wearing a sports jersey and trying to look like a specific player. Also, in the photo you're showing, it seems to me that the two people are wearing these jerseys at an NFL game, a place that makes the most sense for people to be wearing an NFL jersey in the first place. Last point before I move on. If Alex is LARPing the NFL fanbase, shouldn't he also be LARPing the Taylor Swift fanbase? Which you don't bring up? After all, as previously mentioned, Taylor Swift has a massive audience on her own that doesn't come from a relationship with Travis Kelce. I'd even argue that Taylor Swift fans, otherwise known as Swifties, are more likely to support Travis Kelce than NFL fans. Because he said NFL fans instead of just Chiefs fans, at least 15 teams have reason to dislike the Chiefs because of either divisional rivalries or playoff losses to the Kansas City Chiefs since 2018. These fans of other teams would have a negative view of the Kansas City Chiefs, including Travis Kelce, compared to Swifties who have less of a reason to go after Travis Kelce and seem to be mostly supportive. Also, going back to teams that lost to the Chiefs, fuck the 49ers. Whose house? Rams' house.
Fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Yeah. Fuck the 49ers. Y'all a sorry ass team. Thanks. Fuck the 49ers. Damn. I hate the 49ers. I hate y'all. I hate the 49ers. Fuck y'all. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
For the month of August, we have Javik from League of Legends. I swear to God, the further we go down the line, the more unrecognizable the characters become. We started out with fucking SpongeBob, and now we're all the way at like League of fucking Legends.
You know what? I'll give him this. Javik isn't a character. It's a popular ship from the League of Legends fanbase that, to my knowledge, isn't canon. So I guess that's more of a, I wouldn't say niche, but definitely a different choice compared to Patrick Star from SpongeBob. That's the thing though. Javik is niche, not League of Legends. Not only is there 3.6 million players daily for League of Legends, but it was popular enough in a similar way to Borderlands, in which it got adapted into an animated series named Arcane. And unlike Borderlands, it was successful. Seasons 1 and 2 received a lot of viewers. If Semden just said, we went from Patrick Star to Javik, then I wouldn't be here. But because Semden said League of Legends, something that is not as niche compared to Javik, I think Semden has to be clearer about what he is saying. Hopefully I don't have to play the Let Me Know song again.
For the month of September, we have Doc Ock from Marvel. Now, finally, we have a Baby No Money cosplay from a piece of media that isn't, like, extremely fucking unknown. I feel like everybody knows Marvel. Everybody probably doesn't know Doc Ock because Doc Ock is another, like, very, very niche character from the Marvel universe.
Back! Alright, let me hear him out before I argue.
But I feel like a majority of the people who are watching this video right now have watched at least one Marvel movie within their lifetime.
So, everyone has seen at least one Marvel movie, but you still call Doc Ock a niche character? I'm pretty sure there is at least one Marvel film that's more popular than other Marvel films that Doc Ock happened to be in. Like, I don't know, it was released such a long time ago, like 5 years ago. I forgot what it's called. Oh yeah! Spider-Man No Way Home. A film that made over $1.9 billion at the box office. Currently, as of me writing this, the 8th highest grossing film of all time. Even then, before Spider-Man No Way Home, and prior to the MCU existing, the version that Alex is cosplaying as is Alfred Molina's portrayal, who was the main villain in Spider-Man 2, making $795.9 million at the box office. Also, if you think outside of Marvel films, such as the comics on which the Marvel films are based on, Doc Ock is associated with Spider-Man, Marvel's most iconic hero, and since 2014 has been the most profitable superhero. Not only is Doc Ock associated with Spider-Man, but he is also one of Spider-Man's most iconic villains. In this Reddit discussion I found, when people named their top 5 Spider-Man villains, he was mentioned a whopping 113 times out of 214 comments. Doc Ock is also the second character featured on Spider-Man's Wikipedia page in the enemy section. Alright, we don't have to play that song again. Right?
For the month of October, we have Hatsune Miku from Vocaloid, or Volcoid, I don't really know how to pronounce that shit. I initially thought that Volcoid or Vocaloid was an anime, but I was very mistaken because apparently this was a game that came out on the DS a very, very, very long time ago.
Yes, hello. I was wondering if you could play that song again.
Which one, man?
The one that goes...
Again, seriously? What the fuck? Vocaloid is not a 3DS game. It is a singing voice synthesizer software product. The character of Hatsune Miku is a mascot of the Vocaloid company. Heck, if one were to look up Baby No Money and Hatsune Miku on TikTok, they would find out that Alex himself got a Vocaloid license for his song Gigolo.
All the people asking if Miku is on my recent song, you are right. I got a license to use her voice.
Oh. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Which Semden used earlier in this video.
Every time I need a max on the root bet, you bet I'ma hit the chick for a new check. Every time I need a max on the root bet, you bet I'ma hit the chick for a new check.
Again, I'm not questioning whether or not you researched this video, Semden. I'm more so questioning the quality of research in this video. Because had you looked up Baby No Money and Hatsune Miku, or paid attention to music used in your own video, you could have seen the connections between the two and the origins of Hatsune Miku.
Another very obscure piece of media, but in my time that I've spent on TikTok, I know that Miku is a very well-known character.
Then tell me, Semden, how is Miku both a niche and obscure character, but also a very well-known character on TikTok? Tell me why!
Tell me why!
The month of November, we have Sonic. I feel like everybody knows who Sonic is. Sonic from the video game Sonic. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, there are very few people who are like legitimately die-hard fans of Sonic. Even though everybody knows Sonic and knows who Sonic is and knows what Sonic is from, there are very few people who actually interact with Sonic media.
And your visual example is the first Sonic the Hedgehog live-action movie, a film that made over $300 million at the box office during COVID. I'm probably going to go over this in my final thoughts, but you could have supported your point that not everyone interacts with Sonic media by showing Sonic games that you love that didn't sell well, or games that are forgotten about nowadays. The comics, the TV shows, But instead, he chose the first film in a film series that made over $1 billion. Maybe he did this as a point that most people think of the Sonic movies for other forms of Sonic media. In that case, please, make it clearer. Semden goes on to gush about how much he loves Sonic, and then he says,
"But hey man, I don't even know how it's possible for Baby No Money to LARP 11 different pieces of obscure media."
And I don't know how it's possible for Semden to incorrectly say that 10 pieces of media are niche.
What the fuck?
But one thing that I think is absolutely fucking hilarious are all of these people who are coming out of the woodwork to make all of these memes basically slandering Baby No Money or quote-unquote LARPing media. There is an account on TikTok that goes by the name of Dijon Mustard, and Dijon Mustard's entire account right now is basically making these slander animations directed at Baby No Money for LARPing all of these different pieces of media. And these Baby No Money slander animation posts have gotten so much traction online that it seems like it literally caught the eye of Baby No Money himself, because for some reason whenever Dijon Mustard uploads one of these Baby No Money slander animations to his TikTok page, there is a 50-50 shot that Baby No Money himself or Baby No Money fans themselves will go out of their way to report our good friend Dijon Mustard's videos and get them taken down.
Alright, this is concerning. If Alex is taking down videos making fun of him, then yeah, he deserves to be called out on it. Let's look at the evidence. You have got to be kidding me, Semden. And you know what? Dijon Mustard? I'm going after you as well. In the video that Semden is showing, and that Dijon Mustard made, there's no proof that Alex himself took down the video. There could have been several things that could have led to Dijon's video being taken down. As Semden said, Alex's fans could have reported it, or simply because it was taken down by TikTok moderation bots. This happened to me. I'll admit, I don't recall anything that I have made that got automatically taken down by TikTok bots. However, this did happen to me on YouTube in 2018. My first commentary got taken down by YouTube bots for violating community guidelines. Does that mean Nintendo saw this video with 38 views by someone with fewer than 25 subscribers and reported it? Maybe, but I don't have any evidence that proves that Nintendo took down the video by himself. While yes, Dijon's video got way more views than my video, the point is, none of us can suggest or claim that Alex or Nick took down the video, when neither of us have any evidence to prove that they did, outside of the video getting taken down. The fact that both of you, Semden and Dijon, treat your claims as facts when your evidence is at best extremely circumstantial and at worst doesn't even qualify as evidence is extremely reckless. Going back to focusing exclusively on Semden, the fact that you shared this claim reflects one of the biggest problems with this video, the lack of evidence for all the claims made against Alex. Because in my eyes, far more people will care about a celebrity of Alex's size that is not able to take jokes at their expense, to the point that they will take down small creators' work in response, compared to a person pretending to be a fan of the things that they like. One last thing, Semden. Why isn't Dijon's Mustard's video sourced in the original description? Heck, none of the posts in this video are sourced at all. While you can see most of the names of the users who are in this video, the fact that I, and others, have to go out of our way to look for the original posts is annoying, because some people might want to verify some of the information stated in this video by viewing the original post. Not sourcing the videos makes it harder for others to do so. The video then ends with Semden comparing Alex to Low Tier God and how they react negatively to jokes, even though there's no proof that Alex reacts negatively to jokes. And we're done. I can go home now. Woo!
But Pack, what about your final thoughts?
Oh shoot! You know, that's the first actually useful thing you said this whole video.
Thank you. But you, as a dumbass commentator, should know to always have final thoughts. You idiot.
Get out of my house! How do you keep on getting in?
You never lock your doors.
Oh yeah, I should have done that.
It's too late. I already broke them.
Why are you even at my house in the first place?
To address a noise complaint. Neighbors said you're too loud. They can hear you from across the street.
Oh, I guess I should be more quiet then.
Also, to stop this awful YouTube video from being made.
Get out of my house! Anyways, final thoughts? Semden, I want to start this off with, I'm very happy that you're stepping out to make a long-form content. I know these changes can be massive, so I understand difficulties with this. Nonetheless, there are fundamental problems with your video that cannot be excused by a lack of experience. If at times in this video I come off as aggressive, I was mostly doing it for entertainment purposes. So please, don't let this dissuade you from making more long-form content. The first thing I have issues with is the editing. While on the surface the editing seemed to be fine when I watched this video, there were no apparent editing errors. However, they often conflicted with the words that you were saying. You say not a lot of people interact with Sonic media, yet you show the successful live-action films. You say Alex cosplays as niche characters outside the poster showing in this video, yet your example is Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil, a popular video game franchise. Another example is your claims that Alex is doing these cosplays for attention. I assume that you meant positive attention, but your examples are people hating on him, claiming that he is LARPing, being a part of these fan bases. Editing isn't just editing clips that you record together and something that you put on the screen to give your audience something good to look at. Editing can help expand on your points that you're trying to make, like niche Sonic media and other niche characters that Alex has LARPed, and positive statements about Alex's cosplays. Another thing I noticed is the lack of text used throughout the video. Again, going back to the Sonic example, if you meant more people have interacted with Sonic movies compared to other Sonic media, you could have said, or written down some text, like, outside the movies, not a lot of people interact with Sonic media. This leads to my next problem, which is the wording of your points. Like the editing, you made statements that conflicted with one another. You said Taylor Swift has no fandom, but has somehow made enough money for the Chiefs to be gifted a suite. You say Hatsune Miku is niche, but she's also a very popular character on TikTok. These are statements that conflict with one another. Please proofread your scripts before you record, and maybe also have family and friends do the same. And that's me assuming that you scripted this video. I think you did because you did say you researched some of the niche characters that Alex cosplayed as. More on that later. Along with that, you seem to be looking away from the camera a lot. I assume that is to read your script. So you clearly had an idea of what you wanted to put in the video. If you didn't script, then please start scripting so that statements that conflict with one another don't happen. Now to the main problem I have with this video, and by far the most prevalent one, is the research that you put into this video. This honestly made the video doomed from the start. You said at the start of this video that you did put research into the stuff that you didn't know about.
So I actually had to do my fair share of research to find out where all of these characters are from and what pieces of media they're from.
I've said this multiple times and I'll say it again. I don't question that you put research into this video, but I question the quality of the research that you put in. Almost everything that you called niche, well, wasn't. Every character that Alex cosplayed as was from a franchise that has either millions of sales, fans, views, or streams. Whatever metric of success applies to the franchise, it has at least 1 million of them. And that's not including stuff like social media following, the number of posts, fan art, edits, and discussions. It seemed to me that the research that you did was simply looking up where the character that Alex cosplayed as was from. Because you said you did mostly surface level research, as shown in the skipped Love in Deep Space segment.
And I literally had no idea who Silas was or what Love in Deep Space was before I had to do my slight tiny little bit of surface level research.
Even then, you couldn't do that right. As seen with you saying Vocaloid is a 3DS game. And with your claim that Borderlands was developed by Epic Games, instead of Gearbox Software. Keep in mind the amounts of support that a franchise has is relatively easy to find through accessible resources. For me, all it took was looking up the amount of money this franchise made on Google and Wikipedia. I think the main reason for why you assumed every character that Alex cosplayed as was niche is because you didn't recognize them. I saw this in a segment that I initially skipped that shows a massive problem with this video.
But after doing my fair share of research, I have found out that Cinnamon Roll is a character from the Hello Kitty fandom, and I literally had no idea that Hello Kitty had other characters inside of like the Hello Kitty lore. Hell, I had no idea there was Hello Kitty lore to begin with. That's why when I initially saw this cosplay on TikTok, I was extremely confused because I was like, who the fuck is Cinnamon Roll? Another very niche, obscure piece of media that not a lot of people know about.
I hate to break it to you, but your life experiences aren't everyone's life experiences. While you may not know what this piece of media is, that doesn't mean no one else has ever heard of it. There are plenty of reasons for why you didn't know about some of the characters that Alex cosplays as, such as your nationality, your ethnicity, your age, your gender, your sexual orientation, or simply because you just didn't know about it. Now, if the characters that Alex cosplayed as were actually niche, would this video be good? No. Because at the end of the day, you assume that because the character is niche, Alex must not know who the character is. Does he talk about these characters outside of his cosplays? Does he interact with other fans of these characters in his comment section for these cosplays? Does he make factually incorrect statements about a franchise that even casual fans will know is false? Has he ever refuted the LARPing allegations? Or does he go quiet when asked? Questions like this could have provided stronger evidence of whether Alex was LARPing. But instead you assumed, oh, he can't know who this character is. They're niche. To which I respond with, you don't know Alex. You just see him doing these cosplays and hear his music. If you do know Alex, or have evidence to prove your point, then at the very least you didn't show any of that in this video. This, along with the accusations of Alex taking down videos with little to no evidence, could make someone believe that you made this video out of malice, instead of wanting to call out Alex. All because what? You don't like his music? As you said at the start of this video?
For those of you who don't know who Baby No Money is, well, he's a white rapper, and let's just say he makes music. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could consider that music. It's not the greatest.
I hope at the very least, you can learn from the mistakes you made in this video, that others in your comments section and I have called out. I can say this, however, for as bad as this video was, it was perfect to celebrate my 10th commentary.
Technically, this is your 11th commentary, because your dumbass numbered your second commentary 1 point.
Cut it! You know what? That's actually a valid complaint. I don't know what 15-year-old me was thinking. And this is where we end the video. Feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm Pac Mario My Music, and I'll see you later.